am going to call this meeting to order, and we will begin with a prayer from Mr. McCool. So if you'll all rise and stay up afterwards, we will immediately go into the Pledge of Allegiance.
I ask that we all pray together. Dear Lord, during this Easter season, we look forward to your resurrection in a few weeks. Please pray with us this evening as we gather to conduct city business. We ask that your presence here be welcomed and that we conduct ourselves in a gracious and respectful way. We ask that you bless all of the attendees here and that we're all thankful for this great city, this great state, and this great nation that we live in. Remember the reason we're here, to be respectful of each other's opinions and to conduct the business of the city. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with the roll call. Mr. Schatzel? Here. Miss Alley?
Here.
Mr. Najumian?
Here.
Mr. Donahue?
Here.
Mr. Stoffer?
Here.
All right, Dan, over to you.
Okay, sir, approval of minutes, regular council meeting, February 13th, 2024. Special council meeting, February 19th, 2024. There was no planning commission meeting and no special planning agency meeting.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
And a second. Any discussion by the council? All right, Mr. Najumian?
Youth advisor? Oh, yes, sorry.
Yes, okay,
Yes, I'm already moving on.
I know, we're moving on.
Yes,
And Mr. Schatzel?
yes,
Miss Alley? Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
And Mr. Stoffer?
yes.
And see, that's a warm-up for Mr. Stoffer.
I didn't want him to make the first mistake.
There you go.
It was a little bit of
I
a little bit of softball for you,
I
buddy.
think you tried.
Yeah, there you go. All right, ice has been broken.
All right, let's move down to the public hearings, and I believe we have the Youth Advisory Council ready to give us an update.
Yes, we do. Jackson, you want to come forward? There you go.
Good afternoon. I'm Jackson Sparks. I filled in for Gianna Johnson tonight, and we've been doing a lot with the Youth Advisory Council recently. Last month, we visited Twin Cities Pavilion and served the residents there. We made cards for them, we served them dinner, and just talked to them and made sure that they had a good time, pretty much.
And that was on Valentine's Day, right?
Yes, sir. And we're going to use that for our next Florida League of Cities competition. An essay we have to write, so we think that will go well. We're already starting to work on that, excited job. And in the future, we're planning on helping out with Paws and Eglin Pet Shelter, and we're also planning on doing the World Coast Autism Run, helping out with that in any way that we can, anything that they need us to do. So we've been doing a lot, and we'll continue to work hard and make the city a better place.
Well, that's awesome. You guys have been very busy, obviously, but I'll open up. Does council have any questions for Mr. Sparks?
The only thing I'll add is the Emerald Coast Autism event, for those that are interested in attending, is going to be the 13th of April. It's a Saturday morning up at the college, and it's their big fundraiser for the year. So our youth advisor will be out there, and we hope several members of the community will be out there as well. Thanks, Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a special presentation that we want to do, and I am going to ask Captain Whitfield to come forward to the mic and address the audience as well as the council and let us know this great event.
All right, thank you very much for having me. What I'd like to do, I'm Captain Whitfield. What I'd like to do is acknowledge one of our officers for an outstanding effort in a recent incident. The officer that I'm referring to is Officer Christopher Fulford. Before I get to that, I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. He's been with our department for just at 2 years now, and I've grown to know him as an outstanding man. He's also a father and a husband. The short time that he's been with us, in 2023, he was the Nice Officer of the Year recipient. Also in 2023, he was the Mothers Against Driving Award recipient. And has been selected as a field training officer within our department, and recently been selected as a member of our newly formed traffic. So with that said, I'd like to ask Chris if you would step up here real quick. And I'll read a commendation letter that he's going to be presented here tonight. Be kind. I probably can't get a second job as a narrator. So this letter of commendation is to express our sincere appreciation for this.
We want to make sure everybody hears, okay?
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. You're going to battery check it here. You're
I
going
just
to
want
fire
you
it
to
up.
keep standing there because we know you really feel comfortable standing. So we'll just do it longer. So, all right, here we go.
He's being on the spot.
There you go. This is all good.
So it's a good thing I just got started.
There you go.
All right, this, again, you hear me okay?
Yep.
This letter of commendation is to express our sincere appreciation for the exceptional effort and outstanding performance by Officer Christopher Fulford. On February 9, 2024, Officer Christopher Fulford was dispatched to a person down with a gunshot wound at the Oak Creek Plaza. Officer Fulford arrived on scene within 2 minutes from the time the call was dispatched to discovering a male victim slumped over in his truck, bleeding profusely. Officer Fulford pulled him from the truck, assessed the severity of the injuries, and took immediate life-saving measures to control an arterial wound. He applied pressure with his hand to close off the artery so the victim would not bleed out prior to emergency management services arriving on scene. When EMS and East Niceville Fire Department arrived on scene, they took over immediate life-saving care for the victim. While on scene, Chief Birch of the East Niceville Fire Department stated Officer Fulford's quick arrival on scene and life-saving efforts during this horrific incident increased the chances of the victim surviving his injury until he could get advanced medical assistance. Sadly, and in spite of all the life-saving measures from Officer Fulford and other first responders, the victim, Mr. Ledford, succumbed to his fatal injuries at the hospital. Officer Fulford is being recognized for going above and beyond the call of duty for a police officer with his fast medical assessment and physical efforts to save the victim's life, while remaining calm and determined to do all he knew to do to save a man's life. Officer Fulford's determination and life-saving efforts not only exceeds the medical care of most law enforcement officers, but it showed his dedication to all to preserve human lives. On behalf of the Niceville Police Department, I want to express our gratitude for Officer Fulford's exemplary performance. His dedication, quick actions, and professionalism reflects well on both himself, the police department, and the city of Niceville. We are fortunate to have him as a valuable member of our great city. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
I'll do so.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody this evening? Yeah, I'll be short and sweet today. I've got more important matters to take care of. But first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody. To all my guys and my family in the back. That night was a group effort. It wasn't just a me, a him, a her, or anything else. I could not have done it without y'all. And seeing everybody come together was a beautiful thing, given the circumstances. I couldn't ask for a better family back there behind the shield to do everything with, okay? Thank you again, everybody.
Well, before you go, hold on. There's another family here. Can you introduce who's here with you?
Yeah, it's my wife Ariel, my daughter Fiona, and Sergeant Richardson back there absconded my 4-year-old boy back there, Mylon. So, yeah, that's everybody that's here with me.
All right. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
You know, it is you hear me say it frequently that Niceville is a great place to live, a great place to play, and a great place to work. And the reason is because of the citizens that are here and the staff that works here in the city of Niceville. And it is not surprising at all that we have that type of quality of people here in the city of Niceville. And so again, thank you, and thank you, Captain Whitfield. All right, I'm going to ask so we got, can I get the fire chief and the assistant fire chief to come over here? You see that table over there? See that little small table? I want you to bring that out to the center here. We got another presentation we're going to do, and I'm going to come down front to do this. Could you bring that little small table and bring it over here? Yes, sir. Just be very careful. Let me read something to you. I think you'll all appreciate this. You know, it's exciting when we get to honor Niceville citizens for their outstanding contributions. And we just did that with one of our police officers. But today, we're going to honor another very special person. Most of you have known this person for quite some time and have been able to take advantage of the thing that she is well known for. And that person we're going to honor today is Debbie Lewis. Oh, Lord. We're going to honor you.
Oh my goodness.
Stand over here while I read this and then blush, okay? So Debbie not only loves Niceville, but she also loves Christmas. Over the years, she graciously shared that love with all those living in Niceville and nearby. Her love of not only the season, but the spirit of giving has made a tremendous impact and touched the lives of many people here on the Emerald Coast. Debbie, affectionately known as the Christmas Lady, started her local Christmas display almost 30 years ago after moving here. Originally, the display was out of her house over in Palm Estates. It continued when she moved to Redwood, and then to her current residence on Duncan Drive. Eventually, her Christmas display grew to the point that the city of Niceville let her put up her display at the city complex for a period of 2 years. When the old Kmart building became available, she moved it there where people came from all around the Emerald Coast and other places to see the wonder of her display. Since that time, Debbie has continued to serve the community in various ways. On behalf of the Rotary Club, Debbie handles all the floats and car coordination for the Niceville Christmas Parade. She not only coordinates but donates and gets the local Mustang Club members to bring out their cars to the event, which is attended by people from all over again the Emerald Coast. Also, for the last 13 years and counting, she continues to serve her community through outreach program offered by her church. As a valued member of the Generations United Church, she helps with their annual Halloween on the Hill, providing a safe place for young children as they trunk or treat. Finally, Debbie also frequently volunteers at the Niceville Chamber of Commerce. As you can see, Debbie is quite the involved citizen, and it gives me pleasure to recognize this beloved giver. Debbie, it's your turn to be the receiver. It is with great pleasure that the City of Niceville residents, the City Council, and I present you with this one-of-a-kind Mustang tree, and your community efforts obviously have not gone unnoticed.
Wow.
Would you like to say a few words?
City of Niceville, I'm honored, and I did not know that this was about me. The club tricked me. So, I thought it was about us, the club, and I kept thinking, what have we done? What have we done? I mean, I know we've done a few things, but it's a true honor. I love to serve. I really want to do our Christmas again. We've not given it up. And one of my other passions that I have been able to be involved in is I mentor at our local elementary schools. I'm at PLU. I've been at PLU since 2015. I've done a little bit at Ruckle, and I'm at Blue Water now. And so I love to work with the kids. And so, not as if I don't have enough things to do, but Charles and Kevin, we both would love to get back to our Christmas, but we thank you for remembering us. It's a true honor when people come up and say, I was at Maddie Kelly a couple of Fridays ago, and they're like, we still miss your Christmas. It's like, I'm not done. We're not done. We're gonna keep trying. We really are. We have everything. The day the Lord that opens a miracle, and He will, and I know that He will, just like He did when we were allowed to do it here at the city. That was a miracle, and I was thrilled. But one day, when timing is right, He'll let us do it again. I just keep kicking that door a little harder. But thank you so graciously. Oh my goodness, thank you so graciously.
Thank you very much. Chief, okay, you guys have, thank you.
You're still on. I'm still on, right? Do I have the proclamation handy? Oh, there you go. That's pretty awesome. I knew there was someplace.
All right. Let me just check and see if it is. Okay, we have a couple of proclamations that I would like to read. During the American Red Cross Month in March, we recognize the compassion of people in Niceville and reaffirm our commitment to care for one another in times of crisis. This is a genuine spirit, and it's woven into the fabric of our community and advances the humanitarian legacy of the Red Cross. Founder Clara Barton, one of the most honored women in our country's history, who nobly dedicated herself to alleviating suffering. Today, kind-hearted individuals in our community exemplify Barton's commitment as they step up through the American Red Cross, the Northwest Florida chapter, to provide a beacon of hope for our neighbors in need. Through their voluntary and selfless contributions, they make a life-saving difference in people's darkest hours, whether it's delivering shelter, food, and comfort during disasters, providing critical blood donations for hospital patients, supporting military families, veterans, and caregivers through the unique challenges of service, saving lives with first aid, CPR, and other skills, or delivering aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by global crisis. Their support, volunteerism, and generous donations are critical to our community's resilience. We hereby recognize this month of March in honor of all those who fulfill Clara Barton's noble words. You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it, and ask everyone to join in this commitment. We hereby recognize this month of March in honor of all those who lead with their hearts to serve people in need, and we ask everyone to join in the commitment to strengthen our community. Now, therefore, I, Daniel Hinkle, Mayor of Niceville, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of Florida, do hereby proclaim March as Red Cross Month. I encourage all citizens of Niceville to reach out and support its humanitarian mission. And I will tell you that I'm going to ask the American Red Cross personnel that are here to come up here to accept this, but I don't know how many people in this room have ever been impacted by the wonderful work that the American Red Cross does. I personally was, and I will tell you that as a result, good things happened, and every year when I get a chance, I make a donation to the American Red Cross because of the worthy work they do, and I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you for it. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to get some pictures here. Let's get this thing open. We'll make it official. We'll let you hold it, and I'll do this. The old, there you go. Come on there. Grab in there. Jonas. We have another proclamation, and this is one in which you see lives get impacted by this, and so you're gonna hear that we support paying attention to this. This is a proclamation talking about problem gambling and making people aware of it. Whereas the problem gambling is a serious public health issue affecting 1 to 3% of the adult population and often results in personal, financial, familial, legal, and other costs, including high risk of suicide. And whereas it is estimated that over 200,000 Florida adults of diverse age, race, ethnicity,
socioeconomic status, suffer from past year gambling problems, and 800,000 more are at risk of developing such difficulties, constituting almost 5% of the adult population ages 18 and older. And whereas it is further important to note that these statistics do not account for youth who are increasingly and deceptively exposed to gambling concepts and are at an increased risk for developing gambling-related problems. And whereas it is also essential to recognize problem gambling as a societal issue, with 8 to 10 additional people adversely impacted by every problem gambler, increasing the affected population by an estimated additional 1.5 million individuals, with conservative projected social costs amounting to more than $9 billion nationally each year. Whereas the problem gambling is treatable for those who seek help, which minimizes the harm to the Floridians and to the state as a whole, and whereas the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling Public Awareness Campaign provides an opportunity to educate the public, policymakers, educators, businesses, mental health and criminal justice professionals, and others about the potential adverse effects of gambling, as well as social, legal, financial, and emotional impacts and available supports. And whereas free referrals to problem gambling resources and supports including to licensed and certified treatment providers, self-help support groups, the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling online program for problem gamblers, Peer Connect program, financial supports, legal resources, and many more are readily available to all Floridians by calling or texting, and they have a number. It's 888-ADMIT-IT helpline. Whereas the City of Niceville can demonstrate its support in addressing the problem gambling by raising public awareness through declaration of proclamation of the month of March 2024 as Problem Gambling Awareness Month in the City of Niceville. Now, therefore, I, Daniel Hinkle, on behalf of the City of Niceville, do hereby proclaim that the month of March in the year 2024 as Problem Gambling Awareness Month in the City of Niceville. Folks, it is really a tragedy when you see people who are so addicted to it that it destroys families. So please take it seriously, and if you have an issue with that, seek the help. It's out there. Thank you. Okay, where are we? What's next, Dan?
Ordinance 240301.
All right, you want to read it?
Yes, sir. This ordinance is on final reading, and ordinance annexing to the city limits and be zoned R1 with the future land use of LDR, requested by Paul and Stacy Strober, 1697 Vine Avenue.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Anybody in the audience want to come before the audience on this issue? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Paul Schober. I'm the owner of 1697 Vine Avenue. I don't think I could have picked a better day for the second notice reading to join the City of Niceville. I'm excited to be here this evening, and it's been incredible to hear everything that our first responders have done for the sake of our city, the youth, and all the various organizations. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and my wife and I are excited to join the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or discussion by the council?
I was going to vote yes already, and I'm going to vote a super yes.
All right, so Mr. Najumi has just stated his, and I did ask for the vote officially now. And so
Super yes.
Mr. Schatzel,
Yes.
Miss Alley,
Yes.
Mr. Donahue,
Yes.
and Mr. Stopper.
Yes.
All right, you know what? We're down to the city manager reports. You know, and let me just say, the quick reports.
Sir, you know I'm an attorney. We're the only ones that get away with writing a 20-page document and calling it a brief.
There you go.
So, Officer Fulford, thank you for your service. Ariel, thank you for your support of Officer Fulford. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'd also like to recognize a couple other folks from our public service team. This weekend, the Twin Cities Elks recognized Mac Regan from the fire department and Stephen Ussery from the police department as the firefighter and police officer of the year for Niceville Valparaiso.
That's awesome.
times I'm blessed to be surrounded by a bunch of heroes. 3 of them I've just mentioned, but last night, I also want to recognize my water and sewer team. There's a certain telecommunications company that struck again last night. I got home from the office at 7:30 last night and got an email from Jonathan and said, hey, we got a big hole. We're going to be out here late. And they were. They were out working until 1 o'clock this morning. Most of them didn't even go home. They slept on the floor in the Public Works building, and then we got right back to work. That's the kind of people that this community is served by. That's the kind of people that I get to serve with. So to my Public Works team, thank you for all your hard work. I know there's a certain company in town that's generating a lot of extra effort, but I do appreciate you. And you know, the thing about these guys, they never complain. Not once.
Y'all rock.
They do.
I'm going to bring him up in a minute during his piece, but I want to introduce our interim police chief, Rob Lovering. He's up from down south, and he's, as many people know, our Chief Popple recently retired, and so Chief Lovering is going to guide the ship while we search for a new police chief. So, Rob, welcome to the team. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right, so don't forget, please, Chamber of Commerce breakfast is tomorrow morning. And following the Chamber of Commerce breakfast at 11:30 is the renaming of the city complex right out front at the sign. We're going to rename the city complex in honor of Mr. Corbin. Beyond that, we have meetings later this week regarding Eglin's orphan properties. So Eglin has asked us, the Okaloosa County, as well as the municipalities, to come up with a strategic plan for all of their municipalities. And so my team and I sat down this week to discuss thoughts and recommendations, and we have a plan going forward that we're going to pitch on Thursday. The fiscal year 23 audit is almost complete. Warren Avett will be here next month for their presentation. The Johnson Controls water meter study is ongoing. They are currently in town changing out small water meters where they're going to test them, so that study is ongoing. We had a preliminary meeting a week or 2 ago with regards to financing, so more to come on that, but it's moving along. Strategic plan's moving along, so all of you, most of you have interview dates. One's already completed that, so that's moving along. Pay study is also moving along. We recently received a proposed pay range schedule, and we'll be meeting with Evergreen, the contractor, to discuss this in the weeks ahead. The school zone cameras, we had our kickoff meeting for both planning and with the public information officer. And so Altamont is in town, was in town doing some initial site work. We met with them again today, and we anticipate that the system will be operational by the next school year in August. The reclaimed water line project is moving along. We did our physical inspection of the Eglin property where the line is going to go, and we received the physical condition report earlier this week. I anticipate receiving an easement in the next 30 to 60 days for that project. Eglin is working both the easement issue as well as the dig permits, and then Polly is working with FDOT to get the necessary easements from FDOT. So hopefully in the next 4 or 5 months we'll be turning dirt and that project will be underway. I still anticipate that the county construction crew will be installing that line on our behalf. We are in the very, very early stages of discussions with a couple of different child care facilities. One of the major issues beyond affordable housing that we have here in this area is affordable child care. And so I'm talking with a couple of different child care companies in hopes I can compel them to come here and provide additional child care capacity here in Niceville. The military installation resiliency review is ongoing by Jacobs, the company Jacobs. What this is the Emerald Coast MER, again, Military Installation Resiliency Review, is working in our area to create a comprehensive strategy to address and mitigate risk at the installation level in the surrounding communities that may impair the operational utility of military missions or impact available resources. Bottom line is there is a lot of money coming to the Florida Panhandle through the Department of Defense through this process for such things as infrastructure, affordable housing. I could go on and on and on. So we met with them last week and for our kickoff meeting. Those conversations are ongoing across the state, but they were here last week. And so we My new deputy, the grant administrator, who I hope to introduce you to at sometime in the near future, and Jonathan, all sat down working like animals to get all the paperwork in place, the processes in place. They're just absolutely killing it. And so we're going to have the foundation set for when the time comes when they get here with the bag of money. And then finally, don't forget to vote. The early voting is not going through Saturday, I think, and then of course voting is on Tuesday. And with that, Chief Lovering, you want to lead us off, and Captain Whitfield.
Evening, folks. Evening. I guess I'm going to read off to you what happened last month when I wasn't here. During the month of February, the police department responded to 2,380 calls for police assistance. There was a total of 39 traffic crash reports involving 74 vehicles. The estimated amount of damage to the vehicles was $330,000. A total of 204 traffic citations and 198 traffic warnings were issued. 3 misdemeanors, 4 felonies, and 3 DUI arrests were made. And with that said, thank you for allowing me to come to this city. Niceville it starts a lot of conversations when I tell people where I'm at. And it is nice, so thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thanks. Anybody have any questions for him?
I think that's how reports should be done in the future.
There you go. Awesome.
All right, Chief Mayville.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Bring you up to date with the activities of the fire department for the month of February. We responded to 163 calls. None of these calls were overdose calls.
Wow, that's
First
great.
time in a long time.
Yeah.
60 fire inspections with 41 passes and 19 revisits will be conducted. Senior center employees received the AED CPR training, and I think they were pretty happy with the, hey, I can do this. So we expressed, don't be intimidated by machines, and just walk yourself through it. It's real easy to do the first line defense. So they are ready up there at Senior Center. So we're glad to have them on board, part of the team. Crew members were presently at the annual Third Planet bonfire, and great success. Thank you, Mr. Poole, for what you do for the city. The Valparaiso Rotary Club, like the city manager said, our annual firefighter of the year recognized Matt Riggins. The crew members did send off for 3 different teams. We had the girls cheer, the girls weightlifting team, and the boys soccer team all went to state finals. So that says something about our city. And then we had crew members attending the Orlando Fire Conference and training. And then we continue with our certifications and classes. Anything from council?
Any questions? Go ahead, Mr. Mazumi.
Tommy, if I wrote your numbers down right, you said there was 70 inspections, of which 19 required redo.
Yes, sir.
It's about almost 30%. What is there a common theme in what is not compliant?
Yes, sir. We're finding some of the older buildings and some of the businesses that were, when people move back into them, things are not being done. And we just go in there and kind of point them out. And we're working with them to get that fixed, and we'll revisit them by the end of the month, and we should be okay.
So you expect all 19 then to pass on this next go?
We think so.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right, thanks.
Chief, I think it's a great idea that you gave the first aid, or you called it the paddle instructions up there at the senior center.
Yes, sir.
And do we also do that for individuals in the library, our employees in the library, and also those who work at the community center? Because those are 2 high traffic usage areas. So
Yes, sir. We're going to make our rounds that city managers approved us to make sure everyone that wants it is going to receive it. We also offer that to the general public, and it's a wonderful class. And Matt Webster and a couple of my
battalion chiefs, they put it on, and it's really nice. I mean, people are intimidated at first, and then they jump in it. The defibrillators, folks, you know, they're simple. Everything's simple. We just want you to get an idea of how to use it. We got them all over town, and city managers approved us to bring everything back up to par and get new machines. And so we encourage anyone that would like to get CPR certified and defibrillator training. So,
Thanks for the update.
yes, sir.
Anybody else have questions? Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Chief and his team did a great job. They had a ball up there at the senior center, but if I could offer one piece of advice, if you're having a heart attack, don't have it at the senior center. All right, Jonathan.
Everything is great, or even better would be two cities. Any questions?
You did it, good job.
Good evening, Mayor, Council,
Wait,
Mr.
Chad.
Knight.
Chad, you owe him something.
He's gonna keep going.
All right, water and sewer. Our new generators are in place at Tower 2 and Well 10. We have received our right-of-way permit from Okaloosa County for the upgrade of lift station 20 on College Boulevard across from Northwest Florida State College. Keep in mind, this is something that the developer is paying for since we're building a new student housing across the road. They had to pay to upgrade our lift station, so that is on there. We have replaced a leaking valve on Tom Boulevard from the softball field, Niceville High School. To add to Mr. Deitch's update on Live Oak Fiber, we are working with Ms. Shell and Ernie. We are looking at revising our utility right-of-way permit, so to make it a lot stricter on these companies coming in here boring. So we're in the process of doing that, and we are starting to charge for their breaks now. So just add a little bit to that. Suez, our tank company, on our water towers are in town. They finished tank 5 up here, tank 4, they're about to start on tank 3. Had 47 water calls, 27 sewer calls, made 4 water taps, 5 sewer taps, 636 line spots, changed out 3 meters, and did 375 service orders. The stormwater issue at St. Andrews and Valpy Boulevard is complete. We'll be paving the road back and this week. The stormwater repair at Meigs Park is complete. We had to replace 160 foot of metal pipe that went up under our new retaining wall that the parks crew is building. We have a drainage project on Parton Drive in front of the Baptist Church we'll be doing in the next couple of weeks. Emerald Coast striping has finished around the Meigs Park area, so that area is paved and striped. We're waiting on a price quote to line a storm drain pipe on Pine Court and an 8-inch sewer line around the Meigs Park area that goes up under the wall. We are meeting with Northwest Florida Asphalt tomorrow to follow more of our pavement assessments. We're going to look at 5 or 6 different roads in kind of the northwest quadrant of town. And those all are yellow unsatisfactory roads, which will be really good for our pavement rating. The street department has asphalted all the areas around the city this week. The speed bumps from Meigs Park got here today, so they'll be going in next week. The bar on Minger Street is complete. If y'all didn't get a chance to look at pictures of Miss Alice, she tore it all down by herself. So she did a great job. We appreciate it.
That was fun.
There'll be a huge request in the next upcoming budget for a new excavator.
The submittal is back from Jenkins Engineering, so they are starting the design on Hart Street and Hill Lane. Mark Smith Boulevard is complete, and I want to tell you something about that project. That was a great partnership between Health Homes, the city of Niceville, and the Okaloosa County School District for student safety to get to the schools. That was a really good project. I want to thank Health Homes and the school district for working with us on that project. So that was a great partnership there. Highway 285 is complete, all but some conduit they tore up for the traffic signals, and finishing the thermo, which is the striping on the roadway. They are on shutdown for spring break till March the 24th, but pretty much that project's wrapped up. A couple minor things are finished there. Ken and his team, the parks crew, is in the process of building the new retaining wall at Meigs Park. They're doing a great job, so that's in the process. Update on the Niceville walkable signs. All foundations but 4 spots are poured. The banner foundations are poured. They should be going up this week. All the poles should be up this week. All the signs they got are pre-assembled down to accent signs, so Greg Pope told me to let Miss Ally know next month when I come before y'all, project will be complete.
Thank goodness. Rolling it out there.
So, he give us a timeline of by next council meeting, and this will be done. They look really good too, so. Working with Mr. Deitch and Uncle Phil on the renovations of Lions Park. So we're looking at renovating that park down there, adding a couple finger docks, redoing the whole thing, getting some property across the road, making more parking. So we're working together on that project. It'll be really great for our citizens. Ms. Lewis, Highway 20 lights, we met with FPL 3 weeks ago. We got looking at that, the lights out coming westbound on Johnson's Parkway. There's not even a light at Roberts Drive. So we made contact with FPL, they're doing a feasibility study, they're gonna set us a pole and a new light at 20 and Roberts because it's so dark for our citizens trying to get out of that intersection.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Monday the 18th will be, myself and Public Works teammates, fire, police will be attending EOC training at Northwest Florida State College. The kids park, update on the kids park, we're going to be redoing the splash pad, and we're doing some rotten steps, fencing, and the week after spring break, we're going to be doing all the columns and the lights that go around the perimeter of the park. The park will not be shut down, we feel like we can do that while the park's open, so the Monday after spring break, we're going to start that. The Bourne Learning Trail for the United Way, the poles are in. The United Way kids should be here Friday to paint the walk trail and put up their signs, and that project should be complete. So that's a really good thing for the United Way. Update on our adopted drains. As of March 11th, there have been 50 drains adopted by 49 adoptees, picking up 128 pounds of debris removal. So Bobby Jenkins and Samantha Hanson are doing a really good job on that, and I want to say thank you to them. Crystal Heisley, can you come up for a minute? So this is my employee shining penny of the month. Crystal joined us in August, joined our parks team. She worked at various nurseries around this county. She does a really good job. Here in the next couple, month or so, we should be seeing a total renovation of the triangle that Crystal designed herself. So I told Ken we need to get some plans ordered for this, and Crystal comes to my office with a big hand-drawn set of plans, and I'm like, oh, okay. But she does a really good job for us, and Crystal Heisey, all the parks department, this is her. Thank you. Any questions?
Anything from the council? Go ahead, Mr. Schatz. I felt it.
Sorry, had you mentioned anything about whether we're getting prison crews this summer to work for us?
So, we're not gonna get prison crews by, guards watching them. We will keep our crew that we have, a teammate of ours that goes and picks them up every day. We have submitted another letter to the Department of Corrections for a second crew. Met the new warden for the first time last week. So he's talking really positive about we could possibly get somebody else trained, which we do, and possibility of having 2 crews instead of 1. So we will have inmates, just not by guard. So basically, instead of 16, we'll have 10 inmates. But they're doing a good job, so.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you. You guys are doing amazing work, and I love getting in that machine.
I couldn't do it without these guys behind me. Could y'all stand up and give them a round of applause? Ernie, Ken, Crystal, Michelle,
Thank you, guys. Hey, I got a question for you, Jonathan, just because you're Jonathan. I noticed in January you were 73 water calls, and then you went down to 47. You mentioned that you worked with Ivo. Did that help lower the calls on the water, or is that something different?
That's just something different.
Okay.
So we kind of keep that separate. So we're, like I said, we met the other day, we're going to start giving them a hefty bill. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, that is all.
All right. Well, I think we have some other business, right, Dan?
Yes, sir. We've got,
Council, City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Shiraz Hossain. I'm an attorney at Anchor Smith Brimsley. I'm a proud 1992 graduate of Niceville Senior High School, so appreciate the opportunity to come back to the area that helped me become the best that I could be. I'm proud to be here on behalf of White Hat Productions. I have Mr. Mark Wagner with me to give the update to the mayor and the council. I think at this point, the mayor and the council asked us to work with the city manager and with the attorney on a couple of issues related to parking, and then lastly, related to a amendment to an event permit with the military. So I was just looking to the city manager to see where we are on that.
So I'm in discussions with Eglin Air Force Base about the permit, and so nothing in the Department of Defense moves fast. But they sent the directions on how to amend the request for the lease. It's going to slow down the process a little bit, but not significantly, and or not significantly enough that it's going to impact any of the projects we're planning for out in that area. But it won't be a short process, but October 25, I imagine will be done by then.
Well, it's our intent that, I think we already have the approval from the council, so we're ready to go forward with announcing the event. We'll be announcing it for next year for 2025 because we missed out on the opportunity to get the right artist and everything like that. But we're prepared to go forward with the event, whether there's alcohol or not.
Thank you, Shiraz.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure to have you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's basically the update. Like Shiraz said, we are going to push it back to 2025 because we want to do this right. We want to show Niceville that we can bring a big family or concert here that directs directly towards families, and with it being March, we just don't want to push this and try to do it in 2024 at all. So we have decided to put it back to 2025. I get one of the top 10 ride companies here that come to Niceville, North American Mid Amusements, I think is the name of it. They were voted #2 in amusement ride companies to come on board for 2025. And the artist slate has opened up tremendously. We could bring in somebody like Miranda Lambert, the John Rolls, the really top big artists. So that's our goal, because there's no way we can do it for 2024 and do it right. So we decided to push it back to 2025.
Thank you. Any questions by the council?
That's wise.
All
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Dan, what else we have under new business?
City manager has a request for the council.
Council, as I expressed earlier in the week, I'm recommending, I'm requesting a motion to approve the purchase of a piece of property on Kelly Avenue, which is over on the west side of town. This piece of property is necessary in order for us to complete a project over there, connecting Hill Lane, Marquette, and Caroline Avenue over on the west side of town. Hill Lane, it pours out onto Government Avenue right as you're coming up the hill. And so the residents in that community are in a dangerous situation because people are flying down the hill and flying up the hill, and the only way out for the residents in that community is Hill Lane. We own the property between Hill Lane and Caroline Avenue, so we're going to connect that Hill Lane, Marquette, and then Caroline Street together, so it'll be a T intersection back there. But that will allow residents in that particular neighborhood to go down Marquette and exit further north on Government Avenue, where there's better line of sight, so they're not having to try and fight to get out of Hill Lane on Government Avenue, whether they're going north or south, it doesn't matter. It's dangerous either way. This will also give them the opportunity to, if they are going south, to go down Kelly Road and get out onto John Sims down there, and by trying to turn left onto Government and trying to go down the hill with all the traffic racing up and down that hill. So this property has been on sale for a while. It was on sale for $250,000. We entered into a contingent contract for $210,000 for that piece of property. It was appraised for $210,000. And so my recommendation is that we purchase that piece of property so Jonathan and his team can connect those roads together. The reason we're buying that piece of property is because we have to, it's a very, very narrow 2-lane road. But so Caroline is, it's a very, very narrow 2-lane road, so we're going to expand it. But in order to expand it, we have to move the road to one side. We couldn't expand it on the south side of the road because there's property there owned by a resident who has facilities on that piece of property. So it's just fortuitous that the piece of property on the north side of the road came available. So we're going to be able to expand Caroline Street north into that piece of property should you vote to approve the purchase of this piece of property. But again, this is a public safety issue for the residents over in that particular part of town.
So as I understand that, we need a motion to approve the purchase for $210,000 this piece of property, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And discussion by the council? Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none, Mr. Stopper,
Yes.
Mr. Donahue,
Yes.
Miss Alley,
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel.
Yes.
Mr. Najumian.
Yes.
Anything else, Dan, on new business? I've got something I want to do here in just a second, but anything else that you're aware of?
No, sir.
Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right, pay those bills. Let's see here. I think we're at that point where I'm going to ask the council if they have anything they want to share amongst us, and I will have something there at the end as well, and then we'll open it up to the citizens. So we'll start with Mr. Najumian.
Just a quick question, maybe I missed it in one of our updates, but do we have an update on the fully accessible ADA park that we're trying to do in conjunction with Oklahoma County?
Yes, sir. So I talked with Jason Autry, who's the Public Works Director over for the county this week. We are getting the engineer on board. The engineer submitted a cost estimate, a breakdown, design, and that sort of thing. And so we're in the process of finishing that up. Now, once the contractor the engineer gets the go ahead, it's gonna be he's projecting 210 days for design and engineering.
Okay.
So we're still a ways out, but it is moving.
Okay, thanks. That's all for me, thanks.
Mr. Schatzel?
Yes, first I'd like to say welcome to our new councilman, Doug Stauffer. This is his first meeting for those in the audience that were not aware of that, so we're glad to have you aboard. The second question I have is for Mr. Deitz. Up there we're just approved the purchase of the land to connect those two roads and widen the existing towpath, as some people call it. If I remember correctly, there is a small plot of ground that may have been a playground at one time. Is there any plan to renovate or rejuvenate that playing ground?
There is a small city park up there just off of Caroline Street, sir. It is not currently in the budget for fiscal year 25, but will be for 24, but it will be for 25.
Thank you.
Ms. Alley?
I wanted to follow back up with what Sal was saying about the special needs park. So 210 days before we get plans and engineering, is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
So is that going to be okay for the appropriations that's got to be spent this fiscal year?
We'll just roll our portion of it into next year, ma'am, and the funds that you approved for the park this year, we just won't spend them.
I'm talking about from the county, because that's why we moved it to Mex Park, is because they needed to spend those funds this fiscal year.
I'd anticipate the requirement was it had to be obligated, not spent.
Okay. And I don't know anything else.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes. At least once a week, someone will ask me, is it true? And the answer is yes. So for the record and for the press, I will not be seeking re-election. That's it.
Mr. Donovan? Thank you, but I want you to know it's been a real pleasure serving with you. So I guess for another 15 months, how many? 10, no, I'm making 12. All right, Mr. Stoffer.
I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to serve with such a great group in such a great city. And I just want to recognize my wife back there, Judy, on the side, in the middle. She's here. She had to come to the first one, so I appreciate her being here. But I also want to say something else. I met with the city manager again today, and there's a 2-page list update on what they're doing. And, you know, sometimes you see some negative things said. He's putting up, the cameras to catch people speeding, and you hear the negativity, but I went down and I highlighted them as I went: the Children's Park, the Historic Downtown Project, the Meigs Park, Runway Park, Lions Park, Aquatic Center, Reclaimed Water Pipeline, and that's partial first page. So I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. I know you're working hard, and I, as one city council member, just like them, want to get behind you and say, just keep going. You got the greatest staff, and we're even getting better.
Thank you. I'd like to take just a few moments here and share a few things that I would like citizens to hear about. It's a real privilege to hear great comments about our city, about our staff. And sure, I do get those comments that people let me know when they're not happy about something and so forth. But for the most part, people are happy, and we hope to continue to do that. And under the leadership of our city manager and staff, we are going to do that. And with that said, I want to just share a few comments about some things that are going on and how people appreciate it. So you heard about our public works, specifically the water and sewer. I had people come to me and say, I had a problem with my sewer system, and I called, and literally in less than 10 minutes, somebody was there to fix it. 10 minutes. That's pretty impressive. And the fact that the people recognize what great service they receive to let us know, and I thank each and every one of you who work in that department, but also thank the citizens for letting us know when we're doing a good job. All right, appreciate that. Also, I got some feedback on our skate park. They said that is an awesome park, and we have some folks that worked over there for a while, and I think one of them is retiring soon. Positive comments about how great it is and how friendly the folks are over there in that skate park. I get comments like that all the time, and I just want you to know that they care. And I hope you all recognize that they care, because we want to make sure that you have the best possible services and the best possible place to live in the state of Florida. And we are very fortunate to live where we do. And again, that's all because everybody pulls together, and thank you. One other thing, there's a Vietnam vet ceremony this Sunday, the 17th, over at the Malt Festival site at 1 o'clock. So if anybody's interested, please come on over there and watch and observe and be a part of it. So again, that's this Sunday at the Malt Festival site at 1 o'clock. Last piece of business that I need to conduct happens to be with the council. If you'll notice in your book, I put the committees in there, and I updated them. I sent them out to you in advance and said we can discuss these, but basically the minor changes were moving Mr. Stoffer on and picking up most of the tasks that Mr. Williams had, and since Mr. Schatzel was elected as the new Mayor Pro Tem, we made that adjustment. But are there any questions, comments, or desires that I should be aware of, references, or is everybody good with it?
Good.
Good? Mr. Schatzel is, he's probably going to say something to me in a second. But I think he's good with it too.
I am.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay, just make sure. With that, you all know what your committee assignments are. And what I'd like to do right now is open it up to the citizens of Niceville. Would anybody like to come before the council and address an issue? If so, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you to come forward, state your name and address for the record, And I'm gonna remind you, you got 3 minutes. The timer is here, all right? With that, I saw a hand go up, so please come forward. State your name and address for the record.
I'm running. See me running? Anyway, I'm Mrs. Carl Donahue. And I tell people, do not call me Mrs. Carl Donahue. That just, oh, I have a name. It's Jocelyn Donahue. Joe. Anyway, and I know y'all have heard this before. And I don't know if you have any control over it or how we can get it, because it's my biggest issue for the city. Somebody in our house don't do a lot of cooking. So we go to this restaurant, that restaurant, and this restaurant, and we go through the drive-thru, because we don't do the expensive food, we just do some food. And so you ask them, where do they live? Well, I live in Crestview, I live over here. Nobody lives in Niceville, Florida, but they have 2 jobs in Niceville, Florida. I would love to see, and I know it's an issue, we need some affordable housing in Niceville, Florida. That's my biggest desire. People shouldn't have to work here and live everywhere else outside of right here in Niceville, Florida. And so whatever you can do to welcome in the people. It's a beautiful city. We all know it. We have a lot to offer. And so,
Jocelyn, just so you know, myself and the city manager were in a meeting yesterday with Commissioner Goodwin and one of the assistant county managers. And that is an area in which we are in a lot of discussions and looking at the possibility of properties from Eglin, and that's specifically what we're looking at, is trying to make it affordable housing, because you're right. We have people that work in our city and they can't afford to live here. So, but that is something that's near and dear to our heart. And hey, Mr. Dykes, you want to add anything to that?
Sure, and man, we're working really hard on that issue, and I'll tell you what, just give you a brief update. I got a phenomenal new deputy, Kristen Shell. Everybody knows Jonathan. We got our public works director, Philip Schultz, and they've all come on and just gangbusters. So we're working the ground piece. The one thing Niceville doesn't have is land, because we're surrounded on 3 sides by Eglin and 1 side by water. So that's a challenge. But the other challenge is money, because there is no land, everything is really, really expensive. The land's expensive, labor is expensive, the products are expensive. But Kristen Show and Philip Schultz are geniuses at this, and they're exploring all sorts of financial avenues, tax avenues for our developers and our builders to reduce the cost of property. And if I can talk Eglin out of some of their property, I think we're going to have something, because you're right. More than 80, I think it's over 60% of my team doesn't live in Niceville, but they serve this community. I find that very offensive. And so my teammates and I are working very, very hard on that issue. And again, it's not just for my teammates, but our teachers, our medical professionals, and everybody in this community that serves this great community. It is a top priority for us, and we're working it very, very hard.
all right, well, I'm going to hold y'all to it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wants to come before the council on an issue? I'm seeing a lot of faces staring, but nobody's moving. So unless there is somebody that moves in the next 3 seconds, this meeting is adjourned.